Okay, well, let me say good evening to everyone and thank all of you for making the time and taking the time to be here to share in the presentation. Those of you who would have been on Sunday, this is just a follow through, a follow on from that. There may be those of you who are here that might have been on other presentations that we have during the course of the week. And this would be perhaps just another broader perspective for you. And on the Super Patch Blue Ocean Business for Entrepreneurs. And to get into it, I just want to say a little bit about what Blue Ocean Business is because many people are not familiar with the term Blue Ocean Business. I myself only became familiar with it in recent times, being involved in the financial markets and the global markets. And so let me just share a little bit about that since Superpatch is the only blue ocean business of its type in the direct selling industry. And so there are a couple of major points that are very fundamental to any blue ocean business. And it's important to be aware of it because it makes a difference for creating the framework and the foundation of the businesses that we are going to build with Superpatch and knowing what that really means. Blue ocean business, any blue ocean business, it really speaks of a venture that creates a new uncontested market space. A blue ocean business does not enter the market to participate or partake in a market that's existing. It actually creates a new market space that has never existed before. And so they're one of a kind in that marketplace. And while others in time may join that space, they are unique in that they have created a new category of market that has never existed before. So these are four major points that defines any blue ocean business. So it creates a new category, which also creates a new demand. And there's no direct competition. So blue ocean businesses, we don't take part in vying for market share, and we don't participate in what they call red ocean markets. Red ocean markets, as far as the direct selling industry goes, those are markets where everyone is competing for market share. There is price wars and there's fierce competition going on because everyone have very similar products. They may be different brands, different formulas, etc., but they're all vying for the same. They're all vying in the same market to get as much share as they can. Blue ocean, there is no market share to try and capture because you are a one of a kind. Blue ocean businesses also they innovate new value, and their value innovation makes price irrelevant because what you have, there is no comparison to what you have because there's nothing else that's like it. And with that being so, blue ocean businesses also deliver unique cost differentiation, meaning that they rethink value. Although what we have is rare, or what any blue ocean business have is rare, it usually breaks the traditional trade-off high pricing. Because in traditional markets, if something is rare or uncommon, it's usually higher priced, and the more rare something is, the higher the cost is. That doesn't happen in blue ocean businesses. Although what a blue ocean company may have in terms of product or service might be rare, it's not high priced as you would find in traditional markets. And another unique point about blue ocean businesses is that it addresses unmet or unrecognized needs in a way that no one else is doing. So when we find a blue ocean business, all that it is offering, there's nothing else that's out there that's like it to say that it's going to be competing with it or that it's going to compete with. Um, you can think, for example, of um, you have the red ocean businesses of, say, hotel chains. thousands of hotel chains all over the world that's offering accommodations in various locations with various price points, etc. And along comes a company that takes residences and spaces that you have in your home, whether it be a room in your home, annex in your home, or a property that you have, and create a new concept where there's a home away from home. And they created value. And today, Airbnb, in just in a decade, has become a multi-billion-dollar business with over 1 million listed properties all over the world, with no set of overheads because it's all and better priced than hotels, because you can have an extra room in your home and you could be listed on Airbnb where you're offering accommodations. So Airbnb is a blue market industry because they fit all of these four categories. Superpatch is a blue ocean business, and we have created a space that never existed before in an industry that is there, but what we're bringing and what we're offering, no one else is really offering what we're offering and filling the needs in the way that we're filling the needs. So this is a very unique thing to be aware of, because we're not competing. While we are in the health and wellness space, we are not competing for that same market share. And what we're offering, no one else is offering. And although what we have is so rare, our price point is way below what everyone else is competing for in the market. And so we have a very good foundation on which to build our business, knowing that Superpatch is legitimately a blue ocean business. And what we are offering is unlocking human potential through unrivaled technology. And that is because of Superpatch has made the most profound discovery in human wellness that has been made to date. Now, you have to understand this technology to understand that statement, because that's not a selling point. That's not a cliche. That's not some tagline to try to attract people. It is, in fact, the most profound discovery that has been made to date in human wellness. And which is partly what makes it a blue ocean business. As we get more and more familiar with understanding this, which we really do need to understand it, because we are likely to speak about it like it's a red ocean business. We are likely to speak about it like we are competing with the others in the market for market share. We are likely to speak about it with a mindset of an old paradigm in a category that has never even existed before. And so please take note that when I say it's the most profound discovery ever made in human wellness, it literally is that. And as you put on more mileage, those of you who may be new associates, existing associates, and those who are looking at it for the first time to make an informed decision, I encourage you to explore that statement. Perhaps you can ask about it afterwards. And the genius mind behind it all is the founder and the CEO, Jay Dhaliwal, software engineer. You can learn more about him. Not going to spend a lot of time about it, but because of what he has discovered, he's able to make this statement, which is a very bold statement, that he wants to build something generational that will transform the world. Indeed, it has the impact to do that. The market globally is wide open to us, and he has created an infrastructure of a company and he has put all that we need in place to be able to support us in building globally scalable businesses that can last for generations. Because if you're going to talk about transforming the world, you have to have something that has such major impact on society and something that has generational reach. in order to do that. And indeed, that is what Superpatch really is offering. And as you put on more and more mileage, you'll get to see that. As you participate in all that the company is offering, that becomes clearer. But after 15 years of research and development, after looking at the world's entire database of neuroscience, whether it be brain scans, after looking and reading and going through 55,000 research papers and writing 5 million lines of code as a software engineer, he was able to develop the technology that we have today called Superpatch. And it's, as you learn, it's proprietary and it's protected. And but we'll get to that. But this is the man who we were fortunate and privileged to spend the last 4 days with him and 500 other people who qualified for an award trip in Cancun. We just got back last night. And he spares no expense on giving the best to those who are helping the mission that he's on to take this, excuse me, to take this to the world. And so Superpatch, the technology has been in use for a number of years. With the first company that he developed, and you might have heard the term, you'll see it in your back offices, it's called Voxx Life, VOXX Life. And because of the continuous growth and development of it, and with the advent of new technologies, in January 2023, he launched Superpatch. And the technology was rebranded as Superpatch. And the company started then. And because of the nature of this technology, in their first year, right out of the gate, they did 60 million, 100 million last year, and in this year, they're going to exceed doubling that. The company is growing quite rapidly. Like most blue ocean companies, they grow quite quickly, operating in more than 30 countries across US, the North American continent, Ireland, Germany. Recently, we opened in Switzerland. We opened in Colombia this month. Mexico this month. We have distribution centers across Europe. And all of the major sports leagues are now, to one degree or another, using Superpatches. The reason why that's important to highlight is because anyone who knows professional sporting arena, especially high-level sports like the NBA and the NFL, to get any type of technology or product that enhances physical performance and wellness, it has to be so carefully vetted by the authorities before it will be allowed into those sporting arenas. Superpatch has made its way into those arenas, and that only speaks to the quality, the integrity, and the efficacy of the technology that we have. And so between 2023 and to now, the company has made some pretty rapid growth. To date, there are 14 different technologies that they've brought to the market, each one with its own independent, unique vibrotactile pattern embedded into the patch that creates that skin to brain stimulation that brings our body and brain into balance and upregulates the natural function of physiology when the brain and body is in its best balance. Absolutely no ingredients of any type. People still ask me sometimes, what creates the frequencies? It's not frequencies. The patches don't release any frequencies. It is vibrational touch. It is vibration through touch. When the patches touch your skin and the pattern that's embedded on the patch, when that touches your skin simply reads the vibration of the pattern. And like anything that touches your skin, it sends a signal to the brain. The pattern just represents a tuning vibration that corresponds to a particular neural network in the brain, brings that back into tune and harmony, effectively is just resetting it to its factory setting or back to its normal setting. And what naturally happens is that whatever mental or physical function that neural network is responsible for, it just optimizes its function. And so it's always just want to be clear that the super patches do not target any symptoms of any type. The body, which is optimally self-repairing, will do that naturally when everything is in order and in balance. The patches help to support restoring that type of brain body or mind body harmony and connection so that it performs its job very well. Just to give a quick recap, this video is just about a minute and 40 seconds thereabouts. That just gives us a quick recap of how the technology works. Simple animated video, but what it is saying is really quite profound in its simplicity.
When you join Baylor Scott and White Health, your voice will be valued and heard.
Superpatch is the most advanced wearable technology in the market, with 15 plus years of research and development. Superpatches are 100% drug-free, non-invasive, and backed by science. Our skin absorbs and transmits information from many different types of stimulation. Every physical, emotional, and psychological function has a corresponding neural code or message in our brain that controls and regulates it. Due to factors such as injury, stress, genetics, etc., these neural codes can get disrupted, leading to poor health, wellness, and performance. At Superpatch, we've decoded these neural messages that manage the neural control of physical, emotional, and psychological functions. Every single Superpatch has a unique pattern of ridges in it, similar to a QR code. When these ridges come in contact with our skin, the receptors in and around our skin send a message to our brain, which then decodes it. This intricate pattern of ridges is known as vibrotactile technology, or VTT for short. When the patch stimulates the skin receptors, it generates and sends a very complex signal to our brain to correct the specific neural codes that may be disrupted. The effects are almost immediate. So you focus less on overcoming wellness and quality of life challenges and more on living a happier and healthier life. Whether it's improving your sleep, enhancing your sports performance, or unlocking other life-enhancing benefits, Superpatch has you covered. Try Superpatch today and start your health and wellness journey. www.superpatch.com.
So that is basically how the technology works, and it's really, really, really profound. And we need to be able to get more into the understanding of what that really means, so that we can move away from applying all mindsets of understanding that belongs to the paradigm of a pill for a symptom, and be able to represent the technology, more accurately. And so we are in the industry of health and wellness, and we're offering the best and the safest solution that is available today anywhere in the world. May sound like a very bold statement, but it happens to be the case. And of course, you can check. Someone asked me recently, could you have any type of treatment that does not involve ingesting any type of substances that will do what Superpatch will do? Yeah. The answer is yes. You can go into various facilities and have devices hook up to you and have that type of electrical stimulation done to your brain, but that's not practical for most people or affordable for most people. So in this industry, which is a rapidly growing industry, going from 4.7 trillion in 2025 and expected or projected by the authorities to go to 7 trillion this year. And that's because people are getting sicker. The need for what we have and the demand for it is so great. And post-COVID, people are looking more and more for drug-free solutions that don't have the harmful side effects and the toxic effects that comes along with most, if not all, prescription medication. And so we are providing solutions to meet some of the greatest needs in health and wellness today with our revolutionary wearable technology that is opening up an era and a new paradigm of wellness that has not existed before, completely drug-free and ingredient-free. And that is remarkable because it's tapping in to the very divine design of the human being and what we already possess. It is just helping what already exists to be optimized. And so with the current patches that we have, we are looking at, as a business, a market that is 500 billion, because the current patches that we have, the various needs that they speak to extends into such a huge market. We have market advantages as a company. The technology that we have, it is peer reviewed and it's published science. This is important to understand because in the health and wellness industry, there are a lot of products on the market, and most of them, even when I was in clinical practice, you would use, whether it be nutraceuticals or different types of herbals or different types of natural products, they would create formulas based on information that's out there, third-party information about what an ingredient has been found to do when it enters the human body. And they put together these combinations and said, well, this will support X, Y, or Z. This is not one of those things. This is peer-reviewed and published science. And to be peer-reviewed and to be published in major medical journals, the type of scrutiny that you have to go through, you can rest assured that this is not any fly-by-night type of technology, particularly since it's the only company in the direct sales industry that is invited to present the technology at major medical global symposiums. And that speaks volume to what we have. The technology is an industry disruptor. And it's going to disrupt the industry as time go by, because there just simply isn't anything that's like it. What we have going for us as entrepreneurs is that the intellectual property is protected in 186 countries. Nobody can make it, nobody can copy it, and even if they wanted to, the way how it is designed, it is, I would just leave a little room and say it's almost impossible to duplicate, not to mention the lawsuits that will follow, even if it were even possible, because the patterns are bio-encrypted. Nevertheless, there are no white labels to the products. The company does not license it out so that it can be rebranded under different names. There are no competitive products like it. It's exclusive. We're the only drug-free solution that they have for human health and wellness that currently exists without being invasive in any way in the world. We have thousands of testimonies on different sites across social media. You can find them like on Facebook. And we have a demonstrable way that you can see in a matter of seconds the efficacy and the immediate effects that the patches have. And like I said, because of Blue Ocean business being a blue ocean business, as unique and as rare as the technology is, it could easily be high priced, but it is intentionally kept within an accessible price in all the markets across the globe where Super Patch is, because of what Super Patch is building to reach a global audience. What is unique to Super Patch also being in the direct sales industry is the CapEx Global Mass Media Advertising Program that the company runs. where they're involved in mass media, through print media, digital media, TV, via the internet, um, television, radio. They have those huge towers in Times Square where ads are rotating every few seconds. But they have a global advertising campaign, which we, the associates, benefit from. And that's the CapEx program that they have. In the direct sales industry, companies don't put out that type of investment into the market, into global marketing. It's usually done through the field. And so while we may do that independently as we build our businesses, the company also does that, and we get to benefit from that. So the company has actually created, as a Blue Ocean business, an excellent economic infrastructure to ensure that we're going to have stability and longevity because of what Jay wants to build, a generational type of business, which it needs to be able to impact the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you this. And I'm saying this from one who's been in the industry, in the health and wellness industry, not just through clinical practice, but my associations with people at various levels in this industry. I would say that I stand with Jay when he says that there is no product that exists in the world today that has this type of impact on human well-being. And those of you who might have listened to my presentations, and especially I would invite you, be on the one on Sunday that's coming. If you really tune into what that is presenting, you'll get a glimpse of what I'm saying. There really is nothing else that taps in to human well-being in the world the way Superpatch is able to do. What did I just do there? Okay. So we have a unique and dynamic economic model. It is two independent but interconnected, globally scalable systems. When we're talking business, we're talking financial security, and we're talking economic growth, and we're talking about stability, we need to be talking about globally scalable businesses. The world that we live in today, which is a very different world from a decade or two ago, and it's going to be a very different world in the next decade. We have to have economic security, especially as we get older. We want our lives to improve. We don't want the old paradigm where as we get older, life diminishes, not just in quality of physical well-being, but it diminishes in the quality of our lives in terms of standard of living, that declines as well because things become financially more difficult. That doesn't have to be so. And this is also an opportunity for that, but we must have business that is secure and that is globally scalable. And we want to be able to own business. We want to be able to not just have a job. We are living in a time where no job is security anymore. In fact, a good salary is not security. Being able to earn good money is not financial security. Financial security comes one way. You have to invest what you earn and make what you earn continue to keep earning for you. We need to be able to position ourselves that if we cannot perform, earning does not stop. And that is the kind of business and the structure that we're looking at. And it's done in a very unique way, and it has dynamics built into the model to ensure that we can maneuver that in a very effective manner. So out of the two globally scalable aspects of it, the first one is an affiliate marketing platform, which the company gives us, and it is a very professional, well laid out, user-friendly platform that we can present to the world. This is your own personal corporate replicated website, which you get to brand, and you create your own credentials to run your platform. The company provides everything, all your product information, all your clinical studies, your secure payment platform, your accounting system, a whole office management suite that gives you the capabilities of running literally a global empire from in the back from right in your computer with all the metrics you need to test every level of performance that's taking place in your business. The company on the back end takes care of everything else. And so that is what we're given. This is the way that 80% of global brands are now marketed in the world. And more, and I'll tell you, it's still young, more and more the world is gravitating towards affiliate marketing. Everything is being marketed online today. And we have to set up a proper affiliate marketing platform with all the metrics and performance mechanisms that's built into it and the security that's built into it. To be able to do that, it can cost thousands to tens of thousands of dollars. Superpatch has given us one of the most professional platforms that we could need to work with. We could now reach large audiences by using all the digital tools and social media platforms that we now have available to us, which is becoming increasingly easier to access and use. And so we can now target global markets in very skillful ways. And all that is going to cost us to be able to have this platform is a one-time membership fee of $40. And because Superpatch continues to manage and update that platform, which usually costs a lot of money otherwise, it only costs us an annual maintenance fee of $25 to maintain this platform. So once we do that, we now have access to a back office that has all the resources that we need to be able to learn and grow and scale this business and market our business and market our technology to the global market. Just for this. Now, if this was all Superpatch was offering, it would be worth it because people are spending tens of thousands of dollars to try to create something like this. And then they have all the issues with the logistics of how to run it and how to, so all supply chain issues and shipment processes. We don't have any of that. And this is all that it will cost us. This is an incredible platform. Now, mind you, we're talking about a blue ocean business. It does not run in line with there's not going to be a company that you're going to find in this direct sales industry that will give you this for a one-time membership cost of $40. This is, and every single patch that is purchased off of your platform from anywhere in the world, you don't have to worry about how it's going to get to them. And you get paid, and you'll see how handsome that is when you have this platform. You also have access to wholesale pricing. So once you get your platform, what is the very first thing that we need to do? We need to start to use the technology. That's the very first thing we do, now that we have access to wholesale pricing. And a very simple way to start is with what we call our Flex4 Starter Pack. That $175 there includes that $40 membership fee, which is just one time. So any month thereafter, you're talking like $135 to get 4 of the different technologies, 4 different types of patches. And it doesn't have to be what you see here on the screen with the Flex4. It could be a choice of, you have the flexibility of any 4 types. I just put this because the Liberty, the Peace, and the Defend, which I call the Magnificent Trio, together they form a synergy of balanced coordination between our minds, our bodies, and all our biological systems, creating a foundation for more optimal function, protection, and prevention. This keeps our systems running so well. I mean, you can't supplement this into your body. And so, but you have the flexibility, and so it's these 3 plus 1. So you're getting 4 of the technologies for the price of 3 as a member. And this is how you start. This is so affordable that the average person can begin to use this and begin to see how this thing will make a difference in your life. That is how easy it is to become part of the global community, global business community. The other side of it, to the platform, is building teams of common unity, people who are all about improving their lives, improving physical and mental well-being, building teams of people who, the same way how you got here because someone shared it with you, the same way how I got here because someone shared it with me, we continue to do that. And we continue to further the mission of Superpatch. We become conduits where what the company produces, we take it out into the world, starting by being a recipient of seeing that this thing really works and seeing that the escalating needs, those who were on the presentation yesterday, look at the statistics that the World Health Organization have on their website. This thing is a global chronic lifestyle disease, is a escalating global epidemic, and it's not getting any better. The world needs what we have. And so as we build team community of wellness around the world, because this now connects with your global platform. So it's not just being able to offer the technology to the world through your global platform, you can share the opportunity of it all through your platform as well. And so it doesn't matter where people may join the cause anywhere in the world, it all is all part of your team, all part of the community that is being built, starting with your own efforts. And as that happens, the company pays us for the efforts, each individually for our efforts, based on a compensation plan and based on a structure of development that is very fair. This is a bona fide, legitimate, global distribution business that you are going to own. And we all own our own global distribution system, but we are all interconnected as one big community. Now, this part of the model, the earning potential on this is literally uncapped. There is really your limit is as big as the world is. And so, and the residual effect of it is that the efforts that you will put in now and the efforts you will put in tomorrow, the time comes where without the effort being put in, you will continue to be paid on all your past effort. That is what residual income is. For most people who are in the business of life, trying to make life work, most people will start this as a part-time gig, as they say, doing it on the side and taking their time, and you may gradually build it and as you go. But you have that flexibility. How much little or how much you put into it, that is all up to you. But your returns is always going to be proportionate to the investment of your time and effort that you're putting in to building your business. But please have it in your mind from the very beginning, you're not working for Superpatch. You're not working for the person who introduced it to you. You're working with them as you're working with everyone else within the field. We try to build it as a community because we're all like-minded, heading in the same direction, because basically all of us have very similar needs in our lives that we are trying to achieve in terms of quality life and a better standard of living. And Superpatch is a superb vehicle that can help us in this regard. Let me just say here before I even move on, which connects with what we talk about in the presentations. When it comes to money, when it comes to finances, money is something that a lot of people don't like to talk about, as though we think it is something ill about it. I used to be like that as well. But when we live with financial struggle, living in financial struggle is the equivalent to living with emotional stress. The emotional stress will cause physiological imbalances in our bodies. The financial struggle will cause numerous imbalances in our lives, from relationships especially, but it's going to contribute to the whole picture of what we call health, which we know is physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Our entire well-being is and social, that all constitute what health is. But the financial aspect of it, To live in debt, and I tell you, most people that I work with, people just live in debt. Most people live with debt. That is such a burdensome thing on your soul that it contributes to the whole escalation of the whole disease model thing. So we want to be able to have something that we can control, something that we can own, something that we can determine, something that nobody determines for us how much time we can put in. We need to have that flexibility because for most of us, it just starts as a part-time thing. But what we have is a business that is second to none. It is, as Jay was said, it is one of one. It's the only business of its type that's created a space and a paradigm and an era of an approach to wellness that has not existed before. And so here we have an opportunity to positively impact lives the way how ours might have been. And building the business is as simple as you wear the technology, experience the difference, and you share it with people because believe me, people all over, it's so common. They need what we have to offer and they prefer it to be in a safe and an effective way. And we need to get into learning if we haven't had it done, get it done if you can. If you're in proximity to anyone who can do it for you, even if you're not in proximity to someone who can do the balance and stability test for you, when you order your first set of patches, simply look at the video. It's such a simple test to do and have someone do it with you. And then you do it with them. And you'll see the profound difference that how in a matter of seconds, you can see how our strength, stability changes and significantly improves in just a matter of seconds. And so even when you do this with people, it helps to give people hope. And it inspires confidence that this thing is unique. It's very, very different and what is possible. And so we have an opportunity to really make a meaningful difference in the lives of people with a wide range of applications of the different super patches that we have. And which is also an opportunity to create a very lucrative business, one that you can build from home. You can build it online. It's a socially driven income. And today, everything is about communities. It's about being social. It's about being connected. And so there's never been a time that could be more perfect for a business like this. And the thing is, we have no competition at all. And so when we have a business and the nature of that business is to connect people, is to interact with people, is to improve the quality of life for people, not just physically, but mentally. And it takes us a little while to connect to that as well, because we're accustomed of just, when we say health, we just think body. This is not just body. This is also another part of the body that even medicine don't look at very much, is the brain, which processes all the aspects of mind, thoughts, and emotions. This has such a profound effect on human well-being. And so the metrics and the dynamics of the business, which we won't be able to get into all those, the dynamics here, this is just really an overview, is that it encourages collaboration over competition, which is what brings that sustainability to our business. So it helps us to be able to leverage that time where we can have the potential for uncapped earning for everyone, not just for a select few, but everyone can participate, and it depends on how much we are willing or able to put into it. So while it's a business that you own, you're not on your own, you're supported, because the success in this is literally dependent on everyone else succeeding. The more everybody can succeed, the more everybody succeeds. If only little are succeeding, then only little will make it. And so when we learn, in other words, the very dynamics of the model and the structures they built into it of how to use that model teaches us to become better stewards of our time and our talent, and better stewards of how we relate with one another in terms of building communities. How we earn in this business, Superpatch have more than 10 streams of income that we can tap into. That's huge. We're not going to get into this evening. We're going to look at some examples so you can see the potential of it. But when you to get into this, we would be here for a long, and you're looking at the type of income that if we talked about it, you would say that's not possible. But there are people that's already making it in Superpatch as young as the company is already. So let's go through a few of these. The online retail commissions, which is what comes through your online platform, is paid to you weekly, and all the other bonuses are paid monthly. The retail commission here for all online sales is 25%. That's such a huge profit to make, considering that we don't have the overheads of business. We don't have all the operational costs that go along with a traditional business. But every single patch of patches that is sold through your website, the company gives us a 25% commission, goes right into our account, and that's huge. So if you were to build a business only online, the kind of money, the potential that is there, and that's paid weekly. The Fast Start bonus, I have it highlighted in red because we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but this only pertains to the first 60 days, and it really is targeted to the entrepreneurs, the ones who really want to run with this fast, hence the Fast Start bonus. Then we have things like the driver bonus, enroller bonuses, level bonuses, and we're going to touch on that a little bit as we show about the potential and the simplicity of how you can actually, on a part-time basis, begin to create a decent part-time income and then scale it even higher if you want. In addition to that, the company, there are other bonuses and rewards and incentives that the company gives us, like the trip we just came back from in Cancun. And so here now you can see that the company, we have a whole framework, we have a whole structure, we have a whole platform, we have streams of income, we have a business that is really a lucrative business that we can build on. The company has, the compensation plan has 10 levels of advancement that we can go through from associate all the way to global president. There are people at the presidential and at the other levels in between. No one has reached the global presidential level yet. This is only the company's third year, but even what has been achieved in the short period of time has been quite outstanding. So let me just back this up here 1 second. Part-time for us, we say is up to the level of from associate, senior associate, team leader, director. Up to director, we consider that to be, that's just a part-time income. Managing director and above, you're now looking at more of a full-time income, and it is beyond in these levels where people make the decision as to whether they want to make this their full-time business because they now have the income and they now have the freedom to manage their time in different ways. So we're just going to talk about associate to director in that part-time bracket to look at the simplicity of how it is done. To do that, we look at it, the simplicity of it, we call it just U plus 2, where you, when you share it with two others, regardless of where those two may be in the world, you are not limited by borders or locale. The entire world is your open field. And so U plus 2 makes you a senior associate, which is here. And the reason why it is highlighted is because to build from associate to senior associate is just build on this block. U plus 2. And so let's take a look at how that would work so you can see the simplicity of it. You get your 2, you become a senior associate, and you want to be able to, at this time now, you're learning the rudiments of your business, you're looking at all the resources in your back office, you're now learning the elements, you're being supported, you're being guided, etc. Your 2, they will do the same thing. They want to build, so when they get there too, they became senior associates, you now become a team leader. You want to learn to work with your team as you continue to learn to build. They become senior associates, the level 1 become team leader, you now become a director. It could just be that simple in terms of this demonstration, it's as simple to get to there. When we say part-time income, as a director, you're looking at around 500, and we're talking United States dollars, 500 or more. It all depends on the activity because volumes could vary differently because it's not just what we're talking about here is income that's coming only through the team building effort. We're not adding to this. We're not adding volumes that are being created on your online platforms. Those volumes of the online platforms also are combined with this. So, but we're not talking about that. That's separate stream of income, even though the volume is accommodated here. But just to show you the simplicity of how it can take to become what it takes to create a $500, $600 thereabouts, or it could be more, but that's a decent part-time income. $500 can make a difference to any household, I believe, pretty much anywhere that you live. And so, but to be able to earn, the critical thing is you must be a user of the product. You must be building your own well-being. So there's a monthly SmartShip, which is required. And that monthly SmartShip is, you can either stay on the Flex 4 package, or it could also include someone purchasing 2 packs from your website. Either one can keep you qualified. And that's and if you have income that's coming into you from your team building and you happen to not be on SmartShip, income doesn't roll over to the other month. You would have lost your income for that month. But it also ensures other stabilities within the network, but most of all, that you are building your own well-being and having your experience from maintaining the use of the patches. When we use the patches over time, it's not just balancing the brain waves to enhance physical and mental function. Our brains begin to rewire itself. It creates new neural connections, new synaptic connections to the new balance. And that happens over months. And that is really where the real magic is. Not just you put it on and you start to feel better, but the real magic comes when our brain starts rewiring itself to that. That is where it becomes increasingly transformative to our lives. So the compensation plan, this document will be in your back office, and there's a video that goes through every line and every segment of it and explains the entire thing in detail. But it's way too much for us to get into. Just to know that the compensation plan takes you down to infinity. Your earning potential goes to infinity. There's no cap or no limit on how much you can earn with this compensation plan. And so this is just an opportunity. It's just a vehicle. It is just a way where if we can crystallize our hopes, our dreams, our aspirations for ourselves, for our families, for our lives, whatever that may be. In the world that we live in today, I know it's difficult, just even with a decent paying job, to be able to say we have a secure financial future, except we started investing from very early. But this is a vehicle that can help to take us there. Now, there is another aspect of it, which we're going to go through and conclude with that. Then we're going to open for questions at the end. And this is for the entrepreneur who is looking to run with this, who wants the fast track. You may be a practitioner, and it doesn't have to be a medical practitioner or in holistic healthcare. You may be a life coach. You may be a gym instructor. You may be someone who have access to people around you. You may be a pastor of a church. Maybe you own a business, but you have access to reach of people, and you can fast track this because it gets you. When you do it this way that we're going to talk about, it gets you to your goal even faster. And this is where the fast track bonuses that I mentioned earlier, this is where this only pertains to the segment we're going to talk about. Now, to talk about that, I want to introduce my upline leader, who I had the pleasure of spending the last 4 days with in Cancun. Harold and I, we've known each other for years. I mean, he was reminding me in Cancun how far back we went, and I really did not remember it was really that far back. But way over 2 decades, we've known each other from my practice when I had it in Trinidad. And we've come through the years, we've stayed connected over the years. And Harold is the one that shared a super patch with me and why I'm here today. Harold is, apart from a man of integrity, Harold is also the CEO of the Caribbean Stock Brokers Limited in Trinidad. He's been in the field of finance for a long time. So there's no one that's better to talk about um, entrepreneurship and money more than Harold. So Harold, if you are there, just you can take it from here.
Thank you, David. Thank you all for attending. You know, David, you spoke to something that is so important with this super patch business. And it really speaks to something that Jay would have said, where he said, purpose, not profit. Purpose, not profit. This is a business that speaks to health and well-being in a way that nothing else that I have come across. And my passion, I'm in finance, but my passion is health and nutrition. And when I came on to Super Patch, it spoke to that because I hadn't looked at anything more, recently. And when I said to myself, if this is doing what I think it is set out to do, this is going to be phenomenal. And it brings us to that whole question of blue ocean. It brings us to that whole question of disruptive technology. You know, when we talk about disruptive technology, we think of things like the airplane. You know, when the airplane was first even thought of, the guys who were looking at that, they wanted to put them in jail. When you think of the cell phone, for example, when that first cell phone came out, people were seeing this big monstrosity and saying, where are you going with that? Now, none of us would have our cell phones less than 3 feet away from us, or more than 3 feet away from us. In the financial arena, disruptive technology would be something like cryptocurrency and the whole question of blockchain technology. And just to give a feel for what that looks like, when Bitcoin first hit the market in May 2010, it was 1 US cent. Today, and I checked, just to see where we are today, it's now $117,000 plus per Bitcoin. If you had invested $1,000 in 2010 in Bitcoin, the value of that investment would now today would be about $1.07 billion. This is what blue ocean and disruptive technology brings to us. And when we look at a technology like Super Patch, which in itself gives us 14 technologies. We're not talking about one technology here. Super Patch gives us, at the moment, with more in the making, 14 technologies. And if we take a look at what those look like in terms of a market potential, right, what we recognize is that whenever you have a problem, and the bigger those problems are, there are opportunities that are created. And with Super Patch, we have some of the biggest global wellness problems to deal with. We have poor sleep, which affects about 6 billion people. We have poor mobility, which is about 2 billion. So just imagine that each one of these wellness problems affects so many globally. And you have a technology, if we're just looking at sleep, with a market that you're looking at 6 billion people. You know, it's difficult to comprehend. And then what are the solutions that we're using today to deal with these problems? Drugs, lifestyle change, diet change, exercise, supplements, surgery. I mean, name it, over-the-counter drug products. I mean, if you're looking at television and a drug commercial comes on for any situation that you may have, in the 30 seconds of that ad, at least 15 seconds speak to the issues that can result from using that drug. And in fact, it's like just as there's compound interest, there's compounding of drug use. And what are the challenges with all of these, current solutions? Contraindications, indications. In other words, as I was saying, you take this drug to fix problem X, but then you have to take X plus 1 to deal with the Y that comes up, and Y plus 2 to deal with the Z that comes up, and so on and so forth. Side effects. Now, what are people really looking for? People want to get drug-free. They want to have no indications. They want safety. They want that their kids, their parents, the elderly can use products that are safe and drug-free. Super patch, and that's why I looked at sleep and a number of the others. When you hear super patch is a $500 billion company, market opportunity, the only way you can view it is when you look at how these situations, these lifestyle situations, have impacted all of us. Because that's the only way you can get a sense of, when you hear the number 500 billion, you gray over. But if you look at the number of persons in the world who are affected by lifestyle diseases, this is where the 500 billion industry is. Let's move again. Okay. So let's talk numbers. Right? As David said, there is a fast track to the super patch business, blue ocean business opportunity. And this is for persons who, in fact, are really interested in building a large business, an investment that will take them away from the humdrum of existence. But it is done in a way in which you are helping persons to put some difference in their life, both in terms of their health and in terms of their financial situation. So, if you're interested in building in that manner, there are 5 launch kits that you can take a look at. There's the Momentum Kit, which you pay $19.99 for, and you have a retail value of $3,660. You have the Omni Kit, which at $9.99, $1,500 in retail. The Omega, $6.99, $1,080 in retail. The Pan Am, $549, $780 in retail. A couple of things. The Momentum Kit and the Omni Kit both give you the first 12 super patch technologies, both of them. One, the Momentum Kit gives you 61 of those. The Omni Kit gives you 25 of those, right? The Omega Kit gives you the 6 top players in the game. And the Pan Am gives you two of the top. That is the Liberty and the athletic performance free and you get a Freedom sample. For me, the kit that really speaks to the flexibility of doing this business is the Flex 40. Because with this kit, you pay $12.99 with a retail value of $2,400. But this kit allows you to customize your inventory. In other words, whereas the Momentum, it's set, and the Omni and all the other four are set in terms of how many of each you get. With the Flex 40, you customize your store. You customize your inventory. All of these kits give you one advantage, and that is they open the door to fast start bonuses that we'll speak to in a moment. There's one other thing I want to say about the Momentum kit. That is, the Momentum kit gives you the opportunity to be paid from the get-go at the level of the managing director. Okay? And that will become clearer as we go forward. Let's move on. Okay, how do you get paid in this business? The first thing that happens is that when you personally enroll your friends, your family, persons who you consider in terms of their health and wellness, you are paid between 6 or 11 to 11% level personal enrollment bonuses. So in other words, you are paid for helping a person to get started. You're also paid a level 2 enroller bonus on the persons that they introduce to the business. So you introduce 2 persons, you are paid 6% or 11%, depending on your rank. Those 2 persons then in this 2 of their own, you are paid 6% level 2 enroller bonus. Over again. Right. And that's one thing I must let you know, that with the enroller bonus, most enroller bonuses are a one-off pay. In other words, you bring somebody into the business, you get paid once. With this enroller bonus, both enroller level 1 and enroller level 2, you are paid every month on the business that those persons do. Let's move on again. Okay, so let's look at how you build this business going to the fast track. So we said you enroll and you get bonuses of between 6 and 11% based on your rank. What the company says is that if you, in your first 30 days, you enroll 3 persons in those 30 days, they will pay you what is known as a hat trick bonus of $200. So again, you come in, we enroll 3 persons, you're paid enroller bonuses of 6 to 11% based on your rank. You're also paid a hat trick bonus of $200 once you do that in your first 30 days of operation. You're also paid a level bonus of 4% on those 3 persons that you have enrolled. Also, if those 3 new associates you have enrolled, you do it in any calendar month, you are paid a driver bonus of $200. And this isn't a one-off. Also, this, every time you introduce 3 new associates, you are paid that driver bonus. So let's say you in one calendar month, you enlist 9 persons, that is 200, 200, 200. And every calendar month that you do something like that, that driver bonus is there for you to get. Let's move again. All right. In your second 30 days, right? Remember, this is a 60-day plan. If you help your 3 persons to do the same, where they get their 3 persons into the business, you are paid what is called an all-star bonus of $400. Okay, so you have introduced 3 people. You have assisted them in bringing their 3 people into the business. The company rewards you with an all-star bonus of $300. So you got the hat-trick bonus of $200 in your first 30 days. In your second 30, you've helped your 3 pay you an all-star bonus of $400. You also receive a level 2 enroller bonus of 6% on all of the 9 new members that your 3 enrollees have in fact introduced to the business. Apart from that, you also get a level bonus of 4% on all 9. If we look at it, you get 6 to 11% of first 3 enrollees. You also get a level bonus of 4% on those. So you're looking at between 10 to 15% on those 3 persons. On the 9, you're paid an enroller bonus of 6% and a level bonus of 4, which is 10%. So you're looking at enroller bonus, you're looking at level bonuses every month. Let's move on. So, how do you get started? The person who would have introduced you to SuperPatch would send you their URL link, and from there you sign up with that person as your sponsor. You select one of those packages that we showed earlier, and based on that, you now have to you have to create your own URL link, which is where you would send persons to buy product from you or to sign as associates on your website. That's your affiliate platform. There's also a practitioners program for registered professional practices. However, that does not share in the compensation plan that we just showed. However, what most practitioners do is that they come in as associates and then they, in fact, sign their practices under them. With respect to persons in the Caribbean, you need a U.S. address, and this is done through Skybox providers in the region. Commissions are paid through HyperWallet services, U.S. territory, which gives you access to a virtual Visa debit card, or it can be a physical card, you choose. I just want to say something about how you are paid and how, in fact, the company ensures that your funds build in your account. You know, David said, if you didn't do your smart ship, you don't reap the benefits of what is happening in your business. However, on the flip side, you don't lose any funds, any money that accrue to you over time. So let's say in your first, you come in and you enroll 2 people and monies are building up, 6%, 4%. Those monies are available to you. They don't go away. And at the moment that you hit $40 in your HyperWallet, the company then issues you with this, and you get an email that telling you, you have funds in your account, that are readily available for your use. Okay, let's move to the next.
I could just just mention that the practitioner program, there is no cost for a practitioner to
Yes.
enroll his practice or her
Yes.
practice.
In other words, you don't have to pay anything for that practitioners to be involved in the practitioners program, and you get the best wholesale price.
Right.
Right.
So that is pretty much the an overview that gives you information that you can be able to make an informed decision as whether you think this is something that resonates with you, whether you can see yourself doing this. For some people, they may just want to be a customer, and for others, you may want to just see the opportunity, and you can build a global business out of it. And then there are those who start out just using the technology, and because of their experience, what naturally happens that they end up sharing it with other people. Then they recognize the opportunity that just organically presents itself. And so you got playing leaders, myself, Harold, who you just heard from, and Shobi, who's our upline leader. There in Trinidad. You can feel free to reach out to any of us, those of you who may be new in terms of new associates, or people, if you're not able to get in touch with your direct sponsor, we are always available to help to support you in any way. So we're going to be open now if there are any questions that you may have concerning the opportunity, concerning the technology, concerning the presentation last night. We'll be here. It'll take a few minutes and be able to go through that. Or if you have any comments you may want to share, feel free to do so. You can either unmute your mic and speak, or you can just type it into the chat, whichever you prefer. It is fine. Okay. No one has any questions? Okay, then, so what you would do is speak to whichever partner would have shared it, invited you on, whoever your upline leader is if you're new, and they will continue to guide you accordingly. If you're new, get in touch with the person if you're not on that shared it with you, and they'll be able to take you through the process of getting started. I would take the opportunity and for Harold and myself to just say thank you for being here and giving us the opportunity to share this other segment of Super Patch, the Blue Ocean Business for Entrepreneurs with you. And we're here to help if you should need. I want to just encourage you, those of you who are on the associates, to keep checking your WhatsApp for the events that are being posted during the course of the week, and utilize those, as well as Sunday coming. I think it's going to be a very special presentation on next Sunday. Also, bear in mind that once a month we have a practitioners call, where practitioners from various places, it could be medical doctors, it could be holistic practitioners, it could be researchers and developers, where practitioners come together and they talk about the application of the use in their practices. And that's always a very interesting thing to be a part of as an associate, as well as your guest. It's always a good thing to hear how professionals are using it in their practices, clinics, hospitals, but it's growing. So let's see. Would a recording of this be made available? Yes. Yes, Dexter, it would be. Jennifer, You've raised your hand. You can unmute your mic and speak if you like.
No, sorry, that was I think an error on my part. I'm okay.
This was another Jennifer.
Yeah,
Oh, is there
this
another
is-
Jennifer? Sorry.
yeah, no problem. Dr. Homer, thank you so much. I wanted to ask about expiry dates on the product.
They don't carry an expiry date because there's no ingredients or there's nothing on it or in it. So there's no expiry date. None is needed for it. It will last you for a very long time. The only thing you would want to be aware of is that you won't want to keep it in a very hot place, like sitting in your car in the hot sun, because there is an adhesive side of it. Like when you peel it to stick it in a very hot place for a long time, like any adhesive, that could become a little bit maybe gummy or tacky. But apart from that, there is no expiration.
Great, thank you.
I just want to add that that's a fantastic question, Jennifer, because it's one of the things that I considered when I was looking at the business and determining to go with one of the bigger kits. Because what I said to myself is, if I bought the biggest kit, I have all of the products that I need. So whatever issues come to me, I can respond. However, I knew that if it took me a year or two to work through the inventory, it would be not an issue. The other thing that the other thing with that is my variable cost, and right, so we're talking business now, is a smart ship of 2 packs. And with the advent of the Flex 4, what that does is it gives me four packs of patches for the price of 3, which reduces my cost, right? And there's some other things, that dynamics to that you'd see later on, where even when you work with that system, that you in fact can come down to where your patches cost you just about $25 to $27. But all of that we could discuss, right? So that was a really meaningful question. And it's something that I looked at when I decided on which kits I was going to get involved with to reap the benefits of all of what is available at the top end without the issue of products expiring on me. So again, beautiful question.
And then it didn't take you as long as you thought to get rid of the
Definitely not.
because we don't get to realize that even the Flex 40 kit, it really takes very little time. You start to realize that pretty much everybody, you're now tuned into, everybody has a complaint, and you happen to have a patch that addresses most of these needs in a very effective way. So before you know it, people are often saying, "Oh, I need to order again. I need to order again." For people people that are like in Trinidad or the islands, it's always an advantage to make sure you have, because your turnaround time, I think, is around 10 days or so from ordering to come through your Skybox for delivery. I think it's an average about 10 days turnaround time. So it's always a good idea to make sure you have some, at least the primary ones or the most common ones to hand. Anything else, Jennifer?
Yes, Dr. Homer, I think I missed the point in terms of when you order the product and in terms of its being delivered and accessible for use, is what time frame?
It's a Harold could speak to that more, being in Trinidad.
Yeah. In Trinidad, you have a turnaround time of about 10 days. So for example, if you ordered product today, the outer limit before you receive them would be over 10 days. Some cases it's sooner, but you can work with a 10-day, you can plan around a 10-day delivery.
I know this might be a little difficult. I'm not sure how difficult this question is, but because we're looking at the business aspect, and Dr. Homer had said that the company does not outsource production and all of that in terms of since 2003, you think as a business grow, because they're not outsourcing, they'll be able to produce the product sufficiently to sustain supply?
No, when I say, what I meant by outsourcing, that's not manufacturing, that's different. I'm talking about they don't white label the products. In that companies, in order to expand their money, their growth in terms of income, many companies might be making a product like this, and they will go to big conglomerates and they will outsource to them. They would license their product to another company. That company will rebrand it so that the company who's producing it increases their sales more through other companies rebranding their products. Superpatch doesn't do that. Superpatch has manufacturing and distribution in North America and in Europe. So in terms of their growth and the partners that they have in their manufacturing and distribution model, they have some of the biggest and the best in the world. They're not going to run into, if you're talking about a manufacturing problem, they can manufacture far more than the growth can go.
Let me just approach another aspect of what I think Jennifer is getting at. Take, for example, there are companies out there that, yes, it's their product, but they have to depend on company X for this item and for the product, and another, so they have to outsource the raw materials, etc., that go into making the product. Understand that what Superpatch is manufacturing is technology. And what they do is that they use a company, 3M, which is the world leader in the production of all sorts of surgical tapes, etc., etc. So you have the first in product manufacture in 3M. The technology is all Superpatches. So that issue is taken care of there, as against where in fact you have to now depend on someone else for the technology that you put into whatever product you're making. I don't know if that is where you're going, Jennifer.
Yes, thank you so much.
But it's good to know. Those are good things to know, because if you're thinking about building and scaling globally, you need to be able to have the assurance that you can maintain supply as demand increases. Yeah. Marcia?
Hi, good evening, everybody. Dr. Homer, Mr. Allen, I don't know. On the compensation plan, there's a line that says leg rule. Could you explain that to me, please? And I'm seeing 60% as well. So could you explain that to me?
That leg
rule. At least I think that's what it is. It's kind of,
Yes, the 60% leg rule. So she's
yeah,
asking.
okay, yeah. Okay. One of the unique things about this plan that, again, I find very, very important. Whenever you're advancing in this plan, your rank advancing is dependent on two things: volume and helping to build other persons to particular ranks. So, for example, when David spoke to the team leader, I'm going to go to the team leader, or the senior associate. The senior associate has two persons coming in. So the volume would be that person, the senior associate, and the two persons who have come in. And what the company says that gives him the position or her the position of senior associate is that he has a volume of X, right, 540 points. And he has 2 associates with volume on his in his makeup. The following month, to qualify, what he has to do is ensure that 1, he has the volume of 540, but he doesn't have to create, or those 2 associates don't have to be placed again. What has to happen is that 540 volume must not be, 60% of it must not be in any one leg. Right? That's where the 60%. You see it in a better way when you look at, say, the director position. Because with the director position, you have you have to help 2 persons to become team leaders. You need another a volume of 11,000. So you need to have 2 legs where you have 2, you need to have 2 team leaders. You must have helped persons to become team leader and the volume to become the director. In the following month, what you require is the volume and the leg balance, where you're just dealing with, you don't have more than 60% in any one leg. Right? I don't know if that clears it up, Marsha. I don't want to go too deeply.
So basically, even if you have, let's say, 540, right? It cannot just come from one person. It has to be shared, basically.
60-40.
Okay.
As it pertains to ranking, not as it pertains to payment.
Yeah, you're going to be paid based on whatever is happening. So for example, you don't have to rank up to earn. You will be paid your enroller bonus, 6% or 11%. You'll be paid your level bonus of 4%. And if you have your second level, you'll be paid 6% enroller 2 and a 4%. So while you are trying to achieve your rank advancements and you're building your business, that doesn't stop you from earning, because the earnings are based on the sales that happen.
So you earn, but when it comes to ranking, moving up, advancing in your rank, the 60% leg rule matters. And why you would want to advance in rank is because the higher you go in rank, the more you earn.
Yeah. Because, so for example, as the senior associate, you earn on 2 levels. As the team leader, you earn on 3 levels. As the director, you earn on 4 levels. And as the managing director, you earn on 5 levels. And so on. And later on, those deeper levels go to infinity, and it gets very nice.
Bearing in mind that the deeper it goes, the larger the number becomes in terms of people.
Exactly.
It also makes a difference too if you see it. The understanding of it is easier when you're seeing a visual of how it's structured. Any other questions? Marsha, you good or need something
Sorry
else?
about that. Yeah, I think I'm okay. I'm gonna look at it. Don't worry.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so counting down. Time is it now? Okay, we are past the hour. So going once, twice, Boom. Well, folks, good night, Harold. Thank you very much for your continued support, being here. All the other associates, your continued support as well. All the new people that are here, if you, sometimes there are questions that you rather ask offline. We're also available for three-way calls. Feel free to do that. And I will join with Harold in being the first to say welcome aboard, welcome to the SuperPatch community. We look forward to working with you and helping you to build. Your first step is, whether you are ready to enroll or not, is to try the technology. There's nothing like experience in it.
Before you go, Jennifer, is that your hand again? Jennifer McIntosh.
Yeah, I'm a visitor today. I'm not associate or a member, so I was wondering what's the next step? Do you invite us to the subsequent meeting so that we can get more familiar? Because the commission structure is very complex, so it'll take a little while to grasp all of that. So just asking from that perspective.
I'll speak to you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, I'll take you through the steps.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
But you're always welcome to all the sessions that we have.
Yeah, there is a once you come on board, you'll never have to really guess your way or try to find your way through a maze. You will, and there's always ample people around you to help to guide you through. There's no shortage of that. So that's one thing you won't have to worry about. And then it doesn't take long, especially with all the resources you have in your back office, before you get to understand step by step. And it really is up to the individual. Some people want to hit the ground running fast. Some people just work in very slowly and gradually, and they learn as they earn. But there's always going to be guidance and help along the way. So no worries there.
Come, Lex. Come, Lex. Come, Lex. Come.
Yeah, Shubi.
Sorry. Sorry. Sorry.
Okay, folks. Thank you very much for taking the time and being on. And check your the chats to see what events they have during the course of the week. And we'll see you again. Today's Tuesday. We normally have these sessions on Monday, following the Sunday session. It came out today because of the trip we had to make, and it could not have been done yesterday. But normally it is Sunday 6:30 and Monday 6:30 for these particular meetings. So we'll see you guys on the next rounds. May God bless you all. Have a good night. And thank you very much again for attending. Have a great week, everybody.